New York Jets.
Alright, looks like we are ready to start here.
We're situated about 8 miles west of New York City at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford.
This one's technically
Tonight we close out Week 7 with a good Monday night matchup between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets.
And steps out of bounds. Cool. Alright. So
now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. Leading them out is their 6'3" quarterback, the third overall selection in 2018, Sam Darnold.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive tandem last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown pass.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game.
So I don't know about
this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. Bottom line, how do they get a win?
Following this
the numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 15 carries, 95 yards.
The main reason why they play is because
running game, and even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to that, make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a change.
Just sort of working this time.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Montgomery. And he's got
They're
the
looking at
first
maybe
down
making
yardage
a 9
before
or
he's
10
brought
team
down
next
at
year.
the
Because
42.
Philadelphia was interested. I know a few
Got
other
what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
I don't know. I guess I was just
had a
really
chance to get off the field here on the opening drive. Couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches and sometimes maybe we can get a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is. Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized. The others, you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
From just shy of midfield, Darnold, and nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. On third down, here's Bell. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
They created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
They got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
The trademarks in the NFL are very strange. You'd figure
they fake the handoff. Now
to get people interested in your product, you would want all of your trademarks
across the 20-yard line. That'll be a New England first down and gain of 12.
Really strange, things that they can't do. They can't say Monday Night Football. Shouldn't that be part of your agreements, in the networks that, hey, any of these trademarks, you can use them in a game.
Now the leading rusher for the Pats last year is a rookie, Sony Michel. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
So yeah,
the
back to
numbers
the
a week ago for Michelle. 13 carries, 65 yards.
I'm so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter what they were doing. Gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're preparing for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
But out across midfield down to the 45.
Because ultimately, the results are
impressive 31-yard gain.
That's a real nice job
all
right there. Working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way,
I do martial arts. I learned how to do a flat
big
back
play resulted right there.
Just like they do, in order to minimize pain. But the fact is, you're not going to be able to.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45.
You're still landing flat. Like
Where are you going to throw?
You're causing yourself an undue amount of...
He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know,
and the thing is, you do still have a natural player. Now, I do understand that, like, maybe if she was in, like, the NWA era,
Thomas, the 9-year vet, of course, all those great seasons with Denver, 5 straight 1,000-yard campaigns in Denver, dealt to Houston at the trade deadline last year, and now trying to work his way back off an Achilles tear. And if healthy, he can certainly be a big asset for Tom Brady. That throw by Brady incomplete. We're going to go back to Thomas again, but it's going to be second down.
Of a match figured
That's
out
already the third time they've looked his way on this opening drive. He's caught one of the 3.
That doesn't mean they won't continue to go in that direction. It feels like they think they got something good going there, and they think those numbers are going to increase.
And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
Count me a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let him down.
Seriously, where you're trying to sell yourself.
That's to his running back, Sony Michel. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed.
At least in that moment, you were trying to sell people on the concept of watching a fight get
Stephen Gostkowski to try and get the patch 3,
which is very similar to what's happening in like the UFC or in boxing. The only difference is when the match actually happens, the management decides the outcome, not the actual.
The management decides. Well short, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Great.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal.
That in itself
when you're playing against a defense this good,
but otherwise,
you and I both know
the actual
that's a crucial miss, because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell.
You're not going to be able to get
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions,
the biggest
I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half. And some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs.
I listen to the podcast of Jim
and they'll get to him after a gain of 7.
These guys who have drawn
like
money
some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's
had to think in terms of the long-term viability of a company.
Or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier.
One thing that is absolutely readily apparent
we just saw there.
And he will hold the first down as he gets this to the 47.
To most people in the
I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually,
not because of some like
how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that
you don't break it because
but I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not
an
as
effort to
effectively
get
as they wanted
your
to, but I think we'll see more
match
as this game
over,
goes
your
on.
angle over, your gimmick over at the expense
of literally
everyone else.
Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Like you are basically saying, hey, everything else in this company is fake. Look at how bad it is.
Right out of my mouth so far.
But I am the real pro. I am real.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
And even if you get people,
2nd and 2, it's prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it?
It makes it difficult for you to get over it, but even if you do,
but in this situation, go ahead and give it to your
you have done irreparable damage to every other person on the roster, because now they look significantly weaker.
It's Bell, and he stopped immediately.
Because now you've exposed
the safety Patrick Chung is the one who makes the stop.
And exposed everyone trying to make a name for themselves to those same criticisms.
Throughout the game.
And they'll try the air now with Darnold. And he slings one that's incomplete. Quincy Anoon with the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Like one of the things
Jets on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
don't have a lot of appreciation. I have very little patience for it.
And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. Jonathan Jones that time, the one who got a hand in, knocked it away.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. Want to hear it?
Yeah, one of my, some of my least favorite wrestlers right now are guys like the Young Bucks.
Trace their background.
Because I watched,
you'll find that they were big-time athletes.
It was, I think it was the last ROH anniversary show.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Week 7 of the NFL wrapping up tonight. Not too early to look ahead to Week 8. Already the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, it would have been there.
We started out with a good one. In the NFC, Washington taking on Minnesota from U.S. Bank Stadium. Kickoff scheduled for 8:20 Eastern, 7:20 local there in the Twin Cities.
The problem was they did a 6-man tag title
another play here before the 2-minute warning.
Which,
let's see if they do it anyway.
Was kind of the watershed moment for
and he is met in his tracks
a fan to realize that, okay, I see what the critique of these guys is. Because I had, up to that point, really enjoyed. I mean, they were my
second
the
quarter,
biggest fan,
2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score.
That one was kind of the moment where I realized what the big problem
coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman, and our
there was
coach will have a look back
first of all, they unloaded everything they could think of.
And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of first. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on
entirely unnecessary.
We often talk of situational football.
Let's just the 6-man tag titles.
The defense did their job. Got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense up the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
New York set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Yeah, that's intercepted. It's the all-pro corner, Stephon Gilmore.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Throwing now is Brady. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
So yeah, the match
Brady's incompletion.
They did everything under the sun,
which
made it incredibly difficult for anyone in the matches afterwards.
Brady
shot
to Michelle on the screen. And he's
but also, like the stuff they did
to the 25.
Inherently
now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 46 to go in this first half. The last
Bucks
catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction. So now what can they do on
a larger ladder that was stationed in the ring?
Brady gives to Michelle, and they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout?
Onto a table
the Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. As the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime.
Because they were not thinking through their spots very well.
The Patriots send out their punter.
They
as
did
the
this
drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
Bad sequence where
possession goes over here on the punt, and the Jets will take over 1st and 10.
Pressed against the table, but he's bent over
out there now.
He's not actually laying.
He has not had the start to this game that he
I guess
envisions
they
here
were
in the
playing
second quarter. He's struggling a little bit.
But
they're in the lead
over
right
the
now.
course
So
of the 30 seconds it's taking,
I think that's what he has to keep in mind.
Buck
Winning
who
the
is
ball
actually
game,
trying
not going the
to
way
set
he
up the
wants
spot
in terms of his
correctly.
own play. But, oh, yeah, that's right.
Or set it up at all.
Game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Well, they've got that lead so far. One interception for
So
him.
it's taking him this ridiculous amount of time. And meanwhile, Kazarian, I'm watching him literally roll onto the table. Like, it is blatantly apparent there is no reason for him to get on the table.
First and 10 at the 38.
If you have any situational awareness whatsoever, you're not going to do that.
He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that is incomplete.
You know, resting on a table and
now on the clock here.
What amounts to a TLC match is just
when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands. Guess what? Creates a lot of confusion. Kind of a mull in the middle of the field. So you can make a play with football.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman.
I really think that play is horrible.
So the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To the air again, Darnold. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, 4th down. Here's Lachlan Edwards now, as he'll kick it away for the second time.
All right, here's the punt.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback.
But
the Pats at the line, ready to go. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half.
Okay,
3-0 our score.
Yeah, so they're doing obviously pre-set up things. So you're not even trying to get the crowd
and with the way this offense is played
into the idea of the match as a competition. You're doing it as a show.
You're trying to set it up because they've done all nothing offensively in this game.
Is the sports entertainment
they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead.
Which is ironic because they're now creating something that's allegedly sport-based wrestling, where you're trying to make it feel like
enough for a Patriot first down. There's no shortage of great young runners in the NFL, but don't forget about that guy, Sony Michel. First-round pick in 2018, almost hit 1,000 yards as a rookie, 931 to be exact, along with 6 scores
not even
for the
like
former Georgia Bulldogs.
correctly.
They run on first down as they're able to get this forward.
So by the end of the match,
Henry Anderson
I'm gassed and I'm irritated because not only did they
numbers he's used to producing,
do a bunch of insane spots, they also did a lot of
explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On second down now. Michel, and they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
The matches I was actually excited for, Dalton Castle defending against Jay Lethal, the Briscoes and the Motor City Machine
Well, you pointed out to me at half.
Those were the 2 matches I had actually. And the Cody.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone.
But I had gone in expecting like those matches to be what I was excited for, and I felt shortchanged on them because these guys, when you're trying to gas out the crowd before any of them even got into the ring, there was no way they were going to be able to do anything that was
for Damian Harris, the and he is met quickly in the backfield.
That was more
down he goes,
out there and insane.
Hate to say it, but that play
they were getting themselves over, but not the company. And
yeah, don't you think maybe
at that time,
over your
and
play
that's
sheet
why
as offensive coordinator and
you have these agents
because this is not
whose entire goal, their entire setup is to make sure the guys, while they do get a position to go over,
something they haven't seen.
Under no circumstances do you let the lower card guys
that means they'll need to come up with
just
something here on
burn out
down.
the crowd for your main eventers. Your goal is to get your entire show, your entire company.
Brady. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the first down. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
I'm guessing, partner, that if we're in the huddle with the Patriots right now, there's not a single guy that thinks they have any chance of coming back in this one, especially not with Tom Brady.
Yeah, who's Tom Brady? What's he done in the past as far as comebacks are concerned? They're down right now, but that can evaporate quickly with him in the huddle. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half.
So
these guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the
Young Bucks
and I know that
in Ring of Honor, and they even tried in New Japan too,
that drives you berserk.
but
come off
didn't
the
work
field,
as well.
Not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone not even put points on the board.
They were getting themselves over
just take a deep breath,
at the expense of the company. They made it harder for everyone else to draw, and you see it now if you're watching any Ring of Honor now.
And they'll take him down at
they are
the
now struggling to get people back into a position where they can draw again.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away.
So many of their main draws were people that were undermining the Cards as a whole.
By Bell. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
I know every time we watch Le'Veon Bell play, we think about him making people miss the hesitation move. But you remember, he came out of Michigan State as a bruiser and a thumper, and he still has those capabilities.
The epitome of, like,
225
selfishness,
pounds, an underrated part of his game.
It's why the boys don't get to just do things completely the way they want.
Territory now. Here's 1st and 10
because
at the 48-yard line.
one of their big primary failings is they will only care about what's getting themselves over, not what's getting
on the ground.
It's as a whole.
Devin McCourty
make themselves a draw and a big money maker for the company.
A nice inside run,
but they will do it at the expense of
a very solid gain on
quite
that play.
literally everyone else that wants to try to make a living.
Following the pickup of 4,
they will make it more difficult for people who are going to be booking later on to have success. Did I get an offside?
Offside.
Good. I'll take that.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
So after the penalty, now they need just a yard on 2nd down. After the penalty, it's Bell. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A great Monday night to wrap up the week in football. 2 division rivals and a great finish ahead as we come up on 1st and 10. Bell down to the 30 after a gain of 3. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time.
Oh, no, he lost the football.
Anyway, I told that long...
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback.
I got the sense
ball gets
from that
away
she
from
is
him.
setting up for
Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A scenario
the Jets
where
on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone.
Rousey is attempting to get herself
now the Patriot offense set to take over again. I tell you what, it's kind of hard to imagine. They have not scored a single point, and yet they're in this position, a touchdown drive here, and they're in the lead.
Normally, when you have 0 on your side of the ledger on the scoreboard, you're a little bit discouraged. But when they look over and see their opponents, they don't see a number that's way out there. They don't see a number they can't attain. In fact, they can get it right here on this drive and potentially take the lead.
Tom Brady needing a fourth quarter comeback here. He's actually only done it 8 times in the last 5 years, but if you break that down further, the Pats in those years rarely losing in the fourth quarter like they are now. Meanwhile, the throw by Brady knocked away, incomplete.
I was so irritated.
Julian Edelman, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. New England on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now Brady. And that's complete. It's Watson. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done.
So then the entire men's division
on third down. They end up getting over 30 yards.
The entire
that could very well be a defining play in this game.
Rather than
touchdown. That gives them a lead, and they took a major step towards getting there.
Made it so that everyone else is going to struggle to make money from now on. And sure enough, the ratings have been declining. Heck, the ratings were declining when she was talking.
To the 40 now for 1st and 10.
So it didn't even do anything in the positive.
Again, they'll throw with Brady. And he's got a man, Demaryius Thomas.
Sort of, maybe. Oh,
no, he lost the football.
Yes.
And the Jets have recovered.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
I was hoping it might be able to get low enough.
They'll go again with Bell. Bell, first down and then some.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey's actions were incredibly short-sighted. They were designed to get herself over at the expense of everyone else. And that's the thing that you teach. It's why people don't get put in the main event positions where they get to talk for long periods until after they put in a few years. Because they need to be able to understand the why of the business, not just the how. She was very good at understanding how. She put on good matches.
Now after the run by
but she didn't
Bell,
understand the
first and 10.
And because of that, she's breaking all the things that would allow the business to be sustainable.
At the 44. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
And I don't know, if I'm WWE, I would not sign her again. If it was the territories, she would never be signed again. The group would fire her, openly mock her on TV, and then contact every other promoter to make sure she never was allowed back in the business again. And that would be what you deserve.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. first down. It's Bell, and I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he's going to ball his way forward to the 48. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense.
I would just wish that there were more people that would think about how do we get our company over, how do we get our fellow wrestlers over, rather than how do I make it easier for me to make money. It's that collectiveness versus individualists.
On 3rd down, Bell. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. The Patriots will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Do I go or do I not? No, I'm going to try it.
And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Running for it, Montgomery. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
I have no idea.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it with Bell. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. They run. Montgomery fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, a little insult to injury here late in the game. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets. And not all W's are created equal, CD, and this one came in shutout fashion.
Well, their offense certainly didn't need to do anything, right? They could take the day off, and they did.
Rough game.
But the defense, they carried them in a big way.
Yeah, look, the offense obviously stuff to work on, but they did enough, and the defense carried the load.
But you know what they say, it's always fun to work on things. If it didn't go well in your game, with a victory in your pocket, and that's what they've got going forward.
So for the Jets, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, the loss drops them back to 4-3 so far. And they'll try again next week at home.
About even. Everything was even in this game.
So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
I'm glad you listened to my rants there on the wrestling business. I may do that more, but